What's up?
Get your man.
Welcome back.
Alright.
Let me get a thumbs up in the chat box if you hear me. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Sherry. What up, Big Unc? What up, Matt D? Let me get a thumbs up in the chat box if you can hear me. Trying something different, seeing if it's gonna work. Oh, okay, that's all I needed. I need to know if it worked. We in business now. We in business. We in business. So, obviously, you know why we're here. To talk about Lamar's situation and what's going on. What up, Skeezel? Everybody join. Come on in. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Hopefully this will be a little therapeutic because I couldn't really talk about it when it happened. Went and saw Jill Scott yesterday, which was an amazing experience. My wife and I, we got a chance to get out of the house and go see Jill Scott, and man, she's something else. Jill Scott is something else. But so when all that was going on, my phone and my watch just was blowing up while on the road. I couldn't do anything yesterday to talk about it, so I just had to kind of sit on these thoughts and what's going on for pretty much about 24 hours now. About 24 hours. And so it comes out, and we all know that Lamar is on the non-exclusive franchise tag. I never thought in a million years that they would do that. But then when I was able to sit back and think and process information, I can see why the Ravens did it. I can see why the Ravens did it. The Ravens go, okay, we give you non-exclusive, which means, you know, if you sign it or don't find another deal, we pay you $32 million. And so we pay you $32 million, so we can go maybe spend that other 13 on some help for you if you stay here. Which, business-wise, I understand that. It also gives Lamar the opportunity to shop himself around to different teams and see what different teams will offer him. And then the Ravens have a chance to come back and say, hey, okay, yeah, we can pay that. Let's get this done. So I understand that. I do. Trust me, I do. From the Ravens standpoint of it. All right. Shortly after it's announced that he is on the non-exclusive franchise tag, probably within minutes, the Falcons say they're out. They don't want any parts to do with it. And again, I'm driving, so I can't really stay up to date like most people. So by the time I get to my destination, I think I stopped to get gas, I realized there's 4 other teams that have come out and said they're out. Like they're not pursuing Lamar Jackson. Now, all of this could be lies. Could be smoke screen because the legal tampering period don't happen until Monday. So all that could be smoke screen and lies. Could be. But the fact that they came out and said that right off the bat, first thing came to my mind, collusion. Now, pretty much all GMs, and I don't know if the owners were there, but pretty much all GMs were at the combine this week with the opportunity to come out and say, or just to talk in general. And I think, personally, that they've had some kind of communication, like in a room together, because they ain't going to leave no paper trails, especially after what happened with, I think it was the 49ers maybe in emails, so they ain't going to leave no paper trails. They've had communications with each other and like, look, we got to stop this. The Cleveland guy, he kind of went off the wall and gave a guaranteed contract. And so 2 contracts right after that were Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. They didn't get guaranteed money. So now, add another player into this mix, DeMaurice Smith, which is why he's on the thumbnail. That's why he's on the side with the other people. And I'm going to explain why he's on the side to the other people. I'm going to get there. So, and because they didn't get guaranteed contracts, now that kind of throws the negotiations back to where they wanted, DeMaris and the NFLPA wanted guaranteed contracts to be the norm. They thought the first one would be Deshaun, and then they would start to ramp it up with other contracts following that. But Kyler and Russell accepted contracts that weren't fully guaranteed. So now, the NFLPA, DeMaris Smith, they chose Lamar to be the guy to reset that and try to make this a standard. And again, this is all speculation. These are my thoughts, my 2 cents. I ain't heard this nowhere. I ain't read this nowhere. Nobody told me this. This is me piecing information together and coming up with my own theory. So take it how you want it. But again, to bring this all back around, I think the Ravens, mainly Bisciotti, are adamant about not giving Lamar a guaranteed contract. With him being on the non-exclusive tag, that gives him the opportunity to shop himself around. And then they can say, okay, yes, we can afford to pay this. Or, okay, no, we're not going to pay this. But I think they already have a agreement, the owners that is, that they're not going to give him guaranteed. Some owners may offer him something, but it's not going to be fully guaranteed. And if it's not fully guaranteed, well, I don't know. I can't even say the next statement because I don't know if he won't fully guaranteed. I don't know what he wants. Lamar hadn't said a word. Hadn't said one word to nobody that we know of. Even Stephen A. talking about his camp called him. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I just don't. But again, so DeMaris, and I'm going to talk about DeMaris being part of the problem too. You remember that the video I put out, the roundtable, and I had some clips in there from DeMaris, from the Pivot podcast. He pretty much lined up how they advise people. He did. And if you did not see it, I'll kind of go through it a little bit. But again, exactly, Cameron. They used Lamar as a guinea pig. That's exactly it. They used him as a guinea pig. But DeMaris pretty much lined up their parts of their playbook on how to win negotiations. When you're not getting what you want, take all their stuff, whatever team you're on, off of social media, because you don't want to give them free advertising. And he used the example of Kyler. When Kyler took all his information off of social media, nobody really was upset but the Cardinals, like the organization. So taking their stuff off your social media is one of their things in their playbook of negotiations, I guess, or whatever the right term is for that. Secondly, he talked about strike being at the top, but he talked about not giving them free advertising, taking, all your social media, don't put anything in their gear or in their terms on your social media that's free advertising for the club. And he had a number of other things on there that they do to try to sway or whatever they were talking about. And I almost cursed at them. I'm glad I didn't. But so that's why he's on the side with, because they're using Lamar to try to reset the market to get guaranteed contracts. Now there's talk, there's speculation that agents are involved also, because agents don't want Lamar, who don't have an agent, to set this huge trend of getting a guaranteed contract without an agent, because there's speculation that if he can do that, the role of the agent will definitely diminish. If Lamar can get a transcendent contract without an agent, other guys will follow suit and start trying to negotiate without agents. That's why I think the agents are a part of this. I don't know how. I'm not that in the know enough to know how they're in it, but I think they're a part of it also. So I don't know no agents, so that's why I didn't put them in the thumbnail, but they should have been there too. Imagine agents in the thumbnail also. So it's Bisciotti, it's the other 31 owners, it's DeMaris Smith, it's the agents. All these guys versus Lamar. All these guys versus Lamar. And all this man is trying to do is just, I really think all he cares about is football. but he's been pulled in so many different directions that it's tough. I can imagine how disgruntled and upset and frustrated he is with this situation. Like, I don't know Lamar. I know him because he played for the team I like. But as far as knowing him personally, I don't. But I'm pissed about this situation. Like, freaking fired up for real about how they're doing him. And if I walk right past him, he wouldn't know me. He'd probably give me one of these and keep going. But I'm pissed the way they're doing him because, for one, a lot of people said, I think I was listening to something on the way back this morning that a call-in show, Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max, a guy called in and said that he pretty much basically saying it was race. That they don't want a quarterback that looks like that to get the type of money. Now, I don't necessarily think it's race. I think it's the fact that Lamar is not that clean-cut guy that they want as the face of their franchise. That's part of it. I don't necessarily think it's race. It could be a non-black dude, and they had like the lone, like the rocker mentality with all this stuff. Like, if he looked like what's the dude, Post Malone. If a guy look like Post Malone, I think they'd be issues too. I think they want this clean cut, low haircut, or if you got long hair, it's neat. They want a certain brand to be their face. And Lamar's not that. Lamar got to have his plaits. He have his afro. You see the picture in the thumbnail with the, and I know exactly how to get that look because at one point, if believe it or not, I had hair. I used to have braids, and so what I used to do is I take them out, and all my hair would be kind of crinkly, and that's the look that Lamar has on the thumbnail. And that was my favorite look. Like when it was almost time to get my braids redone, I'd take them out and let that hair be crinkly. And that was my favorite look way back in the 1930s when I had hair. But again, and I'm going to wrap this thing on up. DeMaris is using Lamar to try to reset the market. And it looks like it's backfiring. It looks like it's backfiring. I think the owners have got together and, verbally said, this ain't happening. This guaranteed thing ain't happening. It ain't gonna be long. And I think I see my battery low, so I better shut this down quick. Better wrap this thing on up. And I electric Tyrone. That ain't funny. I did have hair at one point. I did. But I'm gonna wrap this thing on up. DeMaris is using Lamar to try to reset the quarterback market to get guaranteed contracts. But Shadi and the owners have all gotten together and be like, look, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We are not guaranteed contract. We don't want this deal to go through. We don't want this trend to be an issue. It is what it is. Melvin, Coach Lamar being greedy and stubborn. I disagree. Lamar is playing the most violent sport in the world. At any point in time, his career could be over with. And I hate to reference this, but look at Damar Hamlin. His career is probably over. So he needs to get as much money as he can in a short amount of period of this time because the NFL window is not long. And again, I told you my camera's going to die, but I'm going to keep talking. The NFL window is not long. So he needs to get as much money as he can, as fast as he can, before his NFL timeline is over. So I disagree with that, Melvin. But again, DeMar Smith using them. The owners have colluded to come out and say, look, we ain't doing this. We not finna start this guaranteed contract thing. It is what it is, but it just ain't happening on our watch. I think that this is my last point. I think Eric DeCosta is the middleman on this. I think if, like with all the negotiating DeCosta's doing, he can't sign a check. He can't sign a check at all. DeCosta cannot sign a check and give him a blank check or whatever we want them to do to sign Lamar. It's Bisciotti. In this case, it's not Harbaugh. It's not EDC. It's Bisciotti. Bisciotti has to okay any of these deals. So that's the real villain in this thing. It's Bisciotti and the owners. And so really it's Bisciotti, the other 31 owners, and DeMar Smith pulling Lamar in 35 different directions. And people are saying that it's because he don't have an agent. Man, bump that. Bump that. If he wanted to do these other things, he could do it. If he wants to do these other things, he could do it. He just choose to live the way he wants to live. It ain't like he hasn't done anything wrong off the field. Anything. Daniel Jones gonna make $40 million next year. Geno gonna make $35 next year. Why in Jesus' name is Daniel Jones and Geno Smith gonna make more than Lamar? Lamar's a unanimous MVP. Mahomes hasn't even done that yet. And since I brought up Mahomes, I don't think nobody should make more than Mahomes. Nobody. Best player in the NFL right now. Nobody. But again, I hope that they can figure something out and get him signed long term. The tampering period starts Monday, so we'll see if those teams that came out and said that gibberish are true. Because Lamar can change a franchise in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. So, that's my 2 cents on it, man. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all came through even when the camera died, so I appreciate you. If you have not joined the Patreon, please consider, because that thing is about to get ramped up. You see all the draft videos I got out there. If you join the Patreon, you can get a link, and when I watch them live, you can be a part of that live stream to watch the video with me, and kind of give your 2 cents when we doing it, and it may even get put in the video. Like we mentioned Monday on the roundtable about Jose finding the dude, Charlie Jones. That's one of my favorites right now. So that came from watching film from the Patreon. So join the Patreon. That thing's about to ramp up. We're going to start having from here on out, the giveaways at the end of each month. They'll be Patreon exclusive. There's a bunch of different tiers over there. You can go over there and check it out. It's patreon.com/SipTheTally. And that's where we at, man. You got who I got coming up tonight on More Sip the Tally? I have what's the kid's name? I just did it. The other Notre Dame kid, Foskey. Foskey's coming up tonight on More Sip the Tally at 7:00. Notre Dame edge guy. So go over to More Sip the Tally and check that out. We just hit 400 subs on More Sip the Tally, so let's keep it going. If you're not subscribed here, please do so. And enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Don't forget to watch my video at 7 on Foskey from Notre Dame. Then tune in to Lunch Break Hot Take at 7:15. And just keep it going, man. Keep it going. Support your Ravens YouTubers. We're going to probably end up talking about Lamar some more tonight, but you'll have more voices and get more different opinions from like that. And just, man, I salute all y'all. I appreciate all y'all. I'm extremely humble about, all the subs and whatnot. So let's just keep it rolling and keep growing. And again, thank you guys, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. See y'all tonight. Peace. Don't forget about the video on More Sip the Tally and Lunch Break Hot Take at 7:15. Oh, man, we had 118 in here. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate it. Right, we don't know what Lamar's been offered, Tundra. Lamar hadn't said a word. And I respect DaCosta for not saying a word. Appreciate you, Don. I respect DaCosta for not saying a word. I can tip my hat to him for that. He kept his word, especially with this situation and with the Hollywood situation. You ain't hear a peep out of it. Not one peep. Static, I definitely think they talked about it. I didn't know the owners' meetings had just happened, but I'm sure they did it in person and not on email and on phone, so a paper trail or something can be left. I'm sure they did it in person. And it's like, look, no guarantee contracts. But yeah, Justin, if he go public, it's over with. But again, this stuff could still work itself out. Still could. So we'll see, man. And I'll see y'all later. Make sure you join in Lunch Break Hot Take tonight and watch that Isaiah Foskey video on More Sip the Tally. Like, comment, subscribe, drink your water.